First question. First question. The planned cabinet mission envisaged that United Dominion of India would be given independence. The plan of cabinet mission envisaged that Dominion of India would be given independence. The cabinet mission of 1946 aimed to discuss the transfer of powers from British government to the Indian leadership with the aim of preserving India's unity and granting it independence. Three members of the British cabinet, Patrick Lawrence, Sir Stafford Cripps, and A.V. Alexander, were sent to India from the cabinet mission. Main feature provisions for three groups of provinces to possess their separate constitution. Proposed the formation of a Union of India comprising both the British India and princely states. Union would remain in charge of only foreign affairs, defence, communication, living and residuary power. And rejection of the demand of full-fledged Pakistan. Proposed setting of an interim government which would remain in office till a new government was elected on the basis of new constitution framed by the Constituent Assembly. So provision for three groups of provinces opposes their separate constitutions. Propose the formation of a Union of India comprising both British and princely states. Reaction of the demand for a full-fledged Pakistan. So proposed setting up an interim government which would remain in office till a new government was elected on the basis of new constitution framed. Consider the following statements with reference to Ras Bihari Bose. Ras Bihari Bose was one of the key organizers of the Gadar mutiny. So correct. And second, he made failed assassination attempt on Lord Hardinge. He made failed assassination attempt on Lord Hardinge. Third, so it is correct. And third, he served as the president of the Congress for two times, Surat 1907 and Madras 1908. No, it is not correct. Raspberry Bose, the two Raspberry in Indian national movement, Raspberry Bose and Raspberry Ghosh. Raspberry Bose was a revolutionary leader against British Raj in India, was one of the key organizers of the Gadar mutiny and later the Indian National Army. He made failed assassination attempt on Lord Hardinge. Raspberry Ghosh, he was an Indian politician, lawyer, social worker and philanthropist. He served as the president of the Congress for two terms, Surat 1907 and Madras 1908. Next, which of the following statements is correct in context of Eka movement? Eka movement, it got support from small Jamindar who were burdened by heavy taxation. So which of the following statements are correct? So it got support from small Jamindar. So it got support from small Jamindar who were burdened by heavy taxation. Eka movements were marked by the religious spiritual in which a hole that represented the river Ganga was dug in the ground and filled with water. A priest was brought in to preside, and the assembled peasants vowed that they would pay only the recorded rent but pay it on time. Would not leave when rejected, would refuse to do forced labor, would give no help to criminals and abide by the Panchayat's decision. However, unlike the earlier Kisan Sabha movement that was based almost solely on tenants, the Eka movement included in its ranks many small Jamindars who found themselves disenchanted with the government because of its heavy land revenue demand. By March 1922, however, severe repression on the part of the authorities succeeded in bringing the Eka movement to its end. So history. Next question: which of the following statements is correct regarding the outcome of Gandhi-Irwin Pact? So the Gandhi-Irwin Pact. So Congress 3 is the correct. So Congress agreed to participate in second roundtable conference. First is not correct. Constitution of Civil Disobedience Movement by the Indian National Congress. No, continuation of civil disobedience movement is not correct. Second is the British government released all political prisoners. No, it is not correct. So both 1 and 2 are wrong, but 3 is the correct. So outcome of Gandhi-Irwin Pacts were as follows. Gandhi agreed to discontinue the civil disobedience movement on behalf of the Indian National Congress. Congress agreed to join second roundtable conference to chalk out the constitutional reforms if constitutional reforms if the British government released all political prisoners except those guilty of violence. British government agreed to permit some people living at the sea coast to collect duty-free salt. The British government agreed to let the people pocket peacefully to solve the salt liquor. Next, consider the following statements with respect to the acceptance of office by Congress in province in 1937 and 1939. So, Congress formed ministers in 8 provinces, and second is correct. So, third is correct. Provincial governments were formed as per the proposal of Government of India Act 1935. So, with respect to acceptance of office of the Congress province in 1937-39, so Congress formed ministers in 8 provinces. Provincial governments were formed as per the proposals of Government of India Act 1935. Muslim League formed ministers in 3 provinces. It is not correct. Elections were held in 11 provinces. The Indian National Congress emerged victorious in 8 of the provinces, and the 3 excepting being Bengal, Punjab, and Sindh. The All India Muslim League failed to form government in any province. Next, which of the following statements is correct in context of working class movement? So, in a working class movement, communist influence resulted in growth of working class movement. Communist influence resulted growth of working class movement. And so only 1 is the correct, A is the correct. So working class movement got great impetus from the rise of communist bloc within the outside Congress. Workers and peasants parties formed in 1927, while All India Trade Union Congress was formed 1920. So Workers and Peasants Party formed 1927 and All India Trade Union Congress formed 1920. Lala Lajpat Rai was the first president of All India Trade Union Congress, and All India Trade Union Congress was formed to not only organize workers, make them class conscious, but to participate in national movement for attainment of Swaraj. So next question. Match list 1 and list 1 correct. So movement and response by Gandhiji. So Ahmedabad mill strike. Gandhiji's response: advised the workers to go on strike and to demand hike in wages. So Ahmedabad mill strike. And second correct, Kheda Satyagraha, advised the peasants to to withhold payment of revenue. Khaida Satyagraha advised Gandhiji to peasants to withhold payment of revenue. Champaran Satyagraha founded Satyagraha Sabhas whose member would disobey the act of court arrest. No, it is not correct. So Ahmedabad milk strike in March 1918. March 1918, under the leadership of Gandhiji, there was a strike in the cotton mills for a hike in flag bonds. Bonus in this strike, Gandhiji used the weapon of hunger strike. The result was the strike was successful and the workers got 35% wage increase. The alert Satyagraha then founded Satyagraha Sabha, whose members would disobey the act and got themselves arrested. And Champaran Satyagraha fought for the rights of peasants growing the indigo under the Tin Gatia system. Under the Tin Gatia system, the peasants were bound to plant 3 out of 20 parts of his land with indigo for his landlord. Releasing Gandhiji's strength and devotion to the cause, the British government made Gandhiji a member of the Inquiry Committee constituted to look into excesses committed by landlords and planters. So thank you.